John chapter 13, verses 1 through 17, and verses 31 through 35. It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power, and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." "No," said Peter, "you shall never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no part with me." "Then, Lord," Simon Peter replied, "not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well." Jesus answered, "Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. The whole body is clean. And you are clean, though not every one of you." For he knew who was going to betray him, and that was why he said that everyone was clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put on his clothes and returned to his place. "Do you understand what I have done for you?" he asked them. "You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set an example that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly, I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them." When he was gone, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man is glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will glorify the Son in himself and will glorify him at once. My children, I will be with you only a little while longer. You will look for me just as I told you. So I tell you now, where I'm going, you cannot come. A new command I give you. Love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." In the movie Infinity War, the Avengers tried to stop Thanos. Thanos' desire was to gather the 6 Infinity Stones so he could possess godlike powers that at the snap of his fingers, he could eliminate half of the universe. His claim was that by only having half the universe in existence, it would stop violence, it would stop wars, it would stop hunger, and the ills of all the things we go through, because it would be in surplus. But eventually, the Avengers do stop him in the next movie, the Endgame. But the snap of a finger is an interesting symbol. What will you do that in some moment in your life that you had all the power in your hands, and it may be good plans that you could benefit your loved ones, benefit your community, or you could have immortality. And at the snap of your finger, you could end COVID, you could end cancer, you could end disease, stop all wars, end poverty, end racism, end sexism, or any form of isms that we face. But here in this text, the writer tells us that at this moment, Jesus had all power in his hands. And what did he do with it? Snap his fingers to make the world right? Use his strength to annihilate the Roman Empire? In contrast, it says that he took on the role as a servant and washed the disciples' feet one by one. He didn't ask them to worship him. He didn't ask them to sing songs and to praise his name. He even didn't ask them to serve him or to wash his feet. He voluntarily acted as someone of a low status to serve his followers. It was an act of love and of grace. And he not only did this, but he tells us to do likewise, to serve and to love with one another, just like he did. Amen.